So the next topic natin are anomalies of the placenta and the cord. So basically, these are conditions that affects both the placenta and the cord. But you're going to separate the discussion, okay, between anomalies of the placenta and the cord. So later na discuss yung anomalies on the cord. Okay, we'll start first with the different anomalies concerning now your placenta. Okay, so let's start with these anomalies of the placenta. So general concept natin, placenta, normally, this is a review. Normally, a placenta is about 500 grams in weight and around 15 to 20 centimeter in diameter and 1.5 to 3.0 centimeter thick. And it weighs approximately 1/6 that of the fetus. Unusually large in women and with diabetes. Okay, so that very basic naman. Malaki din siya sa mga babae na may diabetes. Okay? And may be so large that it weighs half as much as the fetus in patient with syphilis and erythroblastosis. If you can still remember, your syphilis is one of the other conditions indicated to those conditions are considered as teratogenic during pregnancy. Ano na yung ating acronym for that? Your TORCH. Still remember your TORCH? What is T? Toxoplasmosis. What is O? Other infections, including your syphilis and your HIV, tsaka Hep B. Am I right? Yes. And we have your R, rubella or German measles. We have your C, cytomegalovirus, which is in relation to herpes simplex. Kasi yung magkakamag-anak yun. Am I right? Yes, okay? Now, the placenta is wider in diameter because it is forced to spread out to find an implantation phase. So basically, the problem starts because there is a problem already inside the endometrial wall. The diagnostic test to be used is ultrasound, specifically on second trimester. Kaya nga, if you can still remember, we will have at least 8 prenatal visits. One on in between 8 to 12 weeks, which is during the first trimester, and you do it twice during the second trimester. Kailan yon? On the 20th and 26th week of pregnancy. So during this time, dapat may ultrasound tayo. Kaya okay lang po na magpaulit-ulit ng ultrasound si baby. Okay, or si mother. Then ang kasunod na check-up guys on the 30th, then 34, 36, 38, and on the 40th week of pregnancy. Pag hindi pa nanganganak, on the 41st, they need to come back kasi kailangan ng induced ang labor. Kung hindi naman kaya, then CS is the preferred choice of delivery. Clear tayo doon? Now, what are these anomalies of the placenta that we will be assessing using now yung ultrasound? Can I proceed? So we have your placenta succintoriata. Okay? Placenta succintoriata or succintoriata. So what does placenta succintoriata means? Okay? So ano lang ibig sabihin nito? You are aware of a placenta, tama ba? What does a placenta looks like? So basically, this is what a placenta looks like. Yan. So this is your placenta. What happened to succintoriata is that additional lobes were created. Okay, so ang clue natin dyan, pag succintoriata, there are additional lobes. So placenta that has one or more accessory lobes connected to the main placenta. So as you can see there, mayroon na tayo isa lang. Here. And here is the additional lobe. So parang meron siyang mini placenta. So is it that good, mini placenta? No, hindi siya maganda. Kasi nga, the danger is there. Di ba, kadalasan pag nalabas ang placenta, what does the physician do? Chine-check na the completeness, right? So the problem with succintoriata is that, what if hindi tayo aware na meron pala siyang succintoriata? May iiwan sa loob. And you know that a retained placenta means bleeding postpartum. Would that pose a danger to the woman? Yes. Kaya pwede siyang delikado. So no fetal abnormalities associated with this type However, it is important that is to recognize because the small lobes may be retained in the uterus after birth. Kaya very important na ma-identify din natin siya during the second stage of pregnancy. Kasi nga, pag-identify natin siya, then after the delivery, we are expecting that there is an additional load on top of the main placenta na lumabas. So may suspect ka na, pag isa lang lumabas, may naiwan sa loob. Kaya naggagawa tayo ng tawag na manual evacuation. Plus, continuously giving oxytocin and manual uterine massage to promote uterine contraction and expel the remaining placental fragments. Are we clear? Yes. Yan. So again, no fetal abnormality. Ibig sabihin, it does not pose a threat to the growing fetus. However, postpartum, it would pose a possible complication, which is retained placenta, that would lead to postpartum hemorrhage. Are we clear? Yes. Now, what are the risk factors, sir? Close multiple pregnancy, example prees or higher order multiples. We also have previous pregnancies with placental abnormalities. Either succintoriata or ibang abnormalities. Basta nagkaroon ka ng abnormalities sa placenta, you are prone to develop other abnormalities with your placenta. Kasi ang risk factors nila halos pare-parehas. Okay? Advanced maternal age. So let me go back. Alam niyo ba si geriatric pregnancy? You wouldn't want to become a geriatric pregnant women because you pose a lot of risk, not only Down syndrome neonates. Kaya nga, pagka-graduate by age of 21 or 22, you take the boards, the following year, start working, you have until 25 years old to work and work your things out, progress your career. As much as possible, you get the most out of it. By 25, pag may konting ipok, magpaligaw ka na. Huwag yung, that's not my standard. Choosy ka mo. Yes. Bawal mag-choosy lalo pag 35 years old ka na. Dapat you choose what is ever available. Alam mo na? 35 ka na, choosy ka. Huwag gano'n. Alam ko maraming sasaktan sa 35 na. Pero totoo naman, di ba na? Well, boys are boys. They would choose younger. Magsusinungaling ba ako? Boys are boys. Isn't it? Nature nila yan. Ikaw. Diba? Okay, now, so these are the risk factors, okay? Then, placental insufficiency and other complications in the placenta. Okay? Placental insufficiency and other complications of the placenta. I mean, complications in the placenta. Now, what are the possible complications if you develop this condition? So, you have your placental retention, as I mentioned earlier. Then, mag-develop din possibility si vasa previa. This is another topic that we will be discussing in a while. Okay? Or should I be discussing in a while? Okay, vasa previa. So, blood vessels connecting the accessory lobe to the main placenta may transverse to the cervix, a condition called vasa previa. Ito, pag sinabi natin placenta previa, nasa si placenta? Implanted on the lower part of the uterus. Tama? Ito palitan mo lang. Si placenta palitan mo ng vasa. Vasa referring to the cord. So si cord, nandun siya sa, yan, nag-transfer siya into the cervix. And this is a life-threatening condition because the blood vessels are unprotected. Okay, supposedly, a placenta should be covered with, the cord should be covered within the placenta. Ang nangyari dito, umusli. Pumunta siya sa ibabaw, imbis na sa ilalim. At since nasa ibabaw siya, there is a high tendency na ma-injured. Pag ma-injured ang placenta, ang cord, ma-injure na yung connection between the mother and the fetus that delivers oxygen and nutrients. Kaya this is the life-threatening condition because the blood vessels are protected. If they rupture during labor, it can lead to severe fetal blood loss. And take note, it would only take 5 minutes at max. If the brain is not receiving enough oxygen, by that time, irreversible na po ang effect. Maaaring mailabas, buhay, pero patay. What do I mean with that? Buhay siya, may tibok ang puso, pero bulay. Okay? So technically, brain death. Diba? Discuss nyo yan during fundamentals of nursing? The different types of death. Hala. That leads into rigor mortis, rubor. Ano na yun na yun? Alam na naman, nakalimutan nyo na naman. Kailangan laging may clue. Nakakalit. Ano ba? Second year pa, nakalimutan nyo lahat na pinag-aaral sa mga batang ito. Di ba nga, meron tayong criteria on how to declare a person brain dead and physical death. Okay, pag may tibok ang puso pero walang brainwave activity, technically the patient is brain dead. Pero buhay pa siya because there is still heart rate or pulse. Okay, so different yan. Depende sa kung anong type ng death ang hinahanap natin. Pero yung mga brain death na yan, very basic na dapat maintindihan natin yan. Kasi yan yung mga dinidecide natin kung sila ba ay, lalo na kapag sila po ay mag-donors. Kasi hindi naman pwede mag-donor ang patay. Kailangan habang buhay pa sila, dinodonate na nila yung kanilang organs. Okay? So yun na yung mga magkakaroon kayo ng what? Anong tawag sa gano'n? Yung parang respect walk, yung pasok na sa OR yung pasyente na kukuha ng organ, tapos lahat ng healthcare provider nasa gilid na parang sundalo yung mga paying their respect. Yung mga gano'n, di ba? Uso yun sa Amerika. Sino may mga driver's license dito? Have you tried to check your driver's license? Sa likod, may nakalagay doon if you want to donate parts of your organ. Yes. Or not. Because it is expected lagi kasi na kapag you're along the way, somewhere out there, makakadisgrasya ka. So hindi naman pwedeng sa katanungin, ay nag-disgrasya ka, gusto mo mag-donate? Hindi naman pwedeng gano'n kasi pwedeng comatose ka na kapag buwan. Okay? So again, that's your basa previa. Okay, write the name. Postpartum hemorrhage is also a possibility in relation to your placental retention. Then premature delivery, of course, is another possibility. And of course, the last one is your infection. Now, how are we going to manage the condition? Management includes prenatal care, okay, delivery planning, management of retained placenta, monitoring for vasa previa, and postpartum monitoring. Isa-isa natin, prenatal care. Kailan na ulit siya bibisita? Anytime during the first trimester, but specifically between 8 to 12 weeks. Tama ba? Yes. At least how many prenatal visits again? 8 prenatal visits. Lahat na dyan, i-monitor natin, possible complication, history, screening ng sakit ni mother. Kaya ang daming test na ginagawa dyan. Kailangan kunin ng urinalysis. Yes, kailangan kunin ng CBC. Yes, kailangan kunin yung specific test for specific conditions. Yes, like HIV, syphilis, ginagawa ba natin yan? Yes. Ano pa? Check din natin yung kanyang history. May history ba ng cardiac disease? Diabetes mellitus, lahat yan. You did discuss that during your first screening, your first semester. Okay, with your maternal CI. Am I right? Yes, I should know. Yes, kasi talagang nakakonect lahat. So mga na-handle ko po, alam nila to. Kino-connect ko lahat sa pinag-usapan namin. At hindi na may tatanggi yun. Okay, kasi talagang diniscuss ko. Okay? So mga hawakan ko. Okay? Then delivery planning. Pag ganito ang condition, you plan your delivery. Okay, since possible na ma-rupture and possible na may vasa previa, you do not wait for that time na possible ma-rupture yung cord. So ano gagawin natin? Plan for cesarean section. Okay? Then management of retained placenta kung meron. Then you make sure that you scrape whatever is left inside. You do the manual, continuous muscle, uterine contraction to uterine massage or administration of oxytocin on what stage of labor? Third stage of labor or your placenta, or upon the baby is out or expelled from the mother's womb. Okay? Then continues on 10 units intramuscular. Tama ba? Yes. While the mother is continuously massaging the uterus. Okay? And monitoring for vasa previa, we'll talk about that in the vasa previa discussion. And of course, postpartum monitoring, yung mga postpartum monitoring natin dito, not only to the mother but also to the fetus. So kailan yung first visit ni mother? Dapat within the first week of postpartum, specifically on the 4th day. Sir, bakit on the 4th day? You would expect that lochias would change on the 4th day. So yung lochia niya for the first 3 days is what? Rubra. So that is the bright red discharge. Expect mo na dapat on the 4th day, medyo nag-iiba na yung color niyan. So on the 4th day, kung tuloy-tuloy pa rin na bright red, possible active bleeding. So postpartum hemorrhage. it requires management. Kaya dapat it should be done within the first week, specifically on the 4th day. And the next visit niya for postpartum is gonna be on the 6th week na kung kailan babakunahan yung kanyang anak. Okay? Then you have to monitor for other complications. Depende kung anong naging complications during pregnancy, kapag siya ay diabetes, kapag siya ay na-depressed, lack of psychological support may lead to postpartum depression and postpartum psychosis. Clear? Yes, okay? And that ends our discussion about